Toyota AE86, everything you need to know. Hello and welcome back to MIA Luxury Cars. For today's video, we will be going to talk about the Toyota AE86, everything you need to know. Let's get started. This is all the information you require to become familiar with the Toyota AE86. The AE86 is awesome because it wasn't for a very long time. The Corolla was riding its own wave in the wake of the Skyline GTR, RX-7, NSX, and Supra. Even in Toyota's own line, rival vehicles are more powerful and more aesthetically pleasing. In the 1970s, you either purchased American, possibly German or British goods because A, nothing else was available, and B, actually it was your responsibility as an American. However, Japanese manufacturers like Datsun, Honda, and Toyota appeared overnight, and their vehicles were good. Japanese automakers created their vehicles to avoid flaws they identified in competing brands. Although it may have seemed frightening at the time, buying a Japanese product like a Toyota meant you could count on it to be dependable, well-engineered, and most crucially, reasonably priced. For almost 17 years, the Corolla was the smallest vehicle in Toyota's US portfolio when it was initially introduced, and it remained rear-wheel drive until the early 1980s. But Toyota was forced to acknowledge the advantages of front-wheel drive. It was less expensive to build, more effective, and freed up space within. Toyota thus introduced a front-wheel drive Corolla in 1984. The Corolla continues to be that way. Toyota continued to produce a rear-wheel drive variant, even though there existed a front-wheel drive version, using platforms and layouts that are completely different under the same name. Additionally, there were two variations of the rear-wheel drive model, a two-door coupe and a three-door liftback. Then there were two variations of each, the Trueno and the Levin, which features fixed headlights. Also had pop-up headlights, the Trueno. Therefore, this rear-wheel drive Corolla would serve as the model's swan song and the pinnacle of all that is admirable about the Corolla. So, what's its name? It will be the sixth variation and run on a 4A engine and an E-code chassis, specifically an E80. One of Toyota's greatest engines ever, one of the best engines ever, was removed from the Corolla's coupe and liftback bodyworked and restyled. The 4AGE was created with two objectives in mind: racing and powering compact vehicles like the Ae86. It had an aluminum head for added lightness, a cast iron block for strength, and a red line of 7.5 grand. Although the Ae86 A4GE only produced 128 horsepower, it had a curbed weight of roughly 2,300 lbs, 440 kilograms. The weight was equally distributed among the wheels thanks to the car's excellent balance. The outcome was extremely predictable. The Ae86 had a live rear axle like a muscle car since it needed to be inexpensive and didn't use a complex independent rear suspension to transfer the power to the ground. The AE86 had no business being as good as it was. It's a holy union of driving excellence. Almost every form of racing you can think of involved the Ae86. It competed in 86 different racing series and twice won the British Touring Car Championship. Despite having only two wheels, the Ae86 was a formidable rally vehicle. The Corolla's compact size and responsive handling made it ideal for tearing down the Japanese highlands. A young man by the name Keiichi Tsuchiya used to travel these roads every day in his own AE86. Keiichi developed his skills on the mountain instead of racing professionally since he lacked the funds to do so, and the youngster was an expert. Keiichi developed a sizable underground fan base and became untouchable on the mountain, thanks to his smooth drift maneuvers. You are a pretty darn good driver if you can spend all your time drifting on snowy mountain roads without getting killed. But will sliding about on a mountain improve your track performance that much? Keiichi was so talented that he was quickly sponsored to race professionally. He began to win so frequently. He then began making drifting turns, and the followers adored it. He continued to spend his free time on the mountain even while competing. Keiichi gained enough fame that he was able to get sponsors to give him money so he could make a short film about his oversteering antics. The movie is titled Plus Pi, and it's a genuine art movie. In other words, it's art, not simply a drift tape. The car industry was rocked by the video, the velvet underground of drifts tapes essentially. Fast and Furious and Gymkhana would not exist without Plus P. Toyota stopped making the AE86 in 1987, and it underwent nearly no alterations during that time. Toyota unveiled the FT86 concept in 2009. It was created in collaboration with Subaru. It was a rear-wheel drive, two-door coupe modeled after the 1986. In the United States, it was offered under the Subaru BRZ and the Scion FRS brands, although in Japan it was simply known as the Toyota 86. It wasn't very powerful, but it was light and it liked to drift, just like the AE86. Ironically, the sport the AE86 contributed to becoming is the reason you can no longer afford one. There is a drift tax in effect. The new 86 is a tribute to the era in which the previous 86 was at its peak, a period when consumers want a fun-to-drive daily automobile with few frills. Perhaps that moment is past, but if the resurgence of interest in the AE86 is an indication, customers will want a straightforward, dependable. What have you learned about our topic? Please let me know by leaving a comment below. And if you enjoyed this video, please press the like button, turn on the notification bell, and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thank you for stopping by to watch. See you in our next video.